All right, this is my Terrence Howard video, showing respect for new ideas. I mean, I got to do it bigger than just showing respect for Terrence Howard. Showing respect for like new ideas and stuff that that people think of. How about that? Not just Terrence Howard, but it is dealing with Terrence Howard's video. Terrence Howard's theory. It's going to have to stay theory, right? Until you're able to prove it, it's actually a theory. And even greater is a hypothesis, right? So you take a wild guess. So that's what I'm going to get into now. My name is Jeff Carroll, science fiction writer, comic book creator, and filmmaker. So I give these commentaries just as a fan, just as who the heck I am. Somebody that's willing to speak out on things that in public that I only get to speak out at on convention panels and to friends at dinner tables. So I just take a larger platform and do it here. So I'm not afraid to talk. Will I change? Will I get my stuff right, wrong? Who knows? I try, and that's what is best. Sometimes I change my opinion. It's called growth. So anyway, let's get it on. I feel that Terrence Howard should write science fiction. And I say that out of no disrespect to him or to science fiction. Actually, I think science fiction is better for him and is actually a compliment to both his theories and science fiction as a genre. Now, I don't care whether it's a film, a book, or even a comic book. He should write fiction. I think the parameters around fiction are probably, but definitely less strict as nonfiction and factual information, but people are also more liberal and willing to listen. The difference with and people do take science fiction serious. It's not a place where, I'm just Popeye the Sailor Man and I'm going to eat a can of spinach and I'm going to get incredible muscles. No, at the time, people didn't even eat green vegetables. So as people started to think about it, even Popeye became something people took serious. Now, I'm not saying for him to go as low sci-fi as Popeye the Sailor Man, but I am saying that there's kind of no way around him doing what he thinks and says can be done. Until he can prove it, you're campaigning. See, with Terrence Howard, I think, proving that at zero doesn't exist is semantics and is philosophical, and there's a whole lot of other things. So I don't know how you're going to change people's minds on that. But if you're able to prove the rest of what you feel is possible from that lack of zero, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? Then people will back think and back believe because you've just proved what you felt was right in the first place. So all the things he thinks can come from there not being a zero, he can prove. And then that will prove that zero is a misterm. All right? So that's one way. The other thing Well, so that's the way he can do it. There's no way around that. That's what he's got to do. So stop arguing with people if you can't figure out a way to explain it to them, and if they'll only believe it getting done. Now, because getting it done is a obstacle, I suggest writing science fiction book, film, or comic book, right? And can increase the lobby base for funding your experiment, because that's what you have to do. I think what's happening is he is arguing and probably thinking, like he did with Neil Tyson, that his celebrity status would get him on Neil's show. Yeah, he might get on Neil's show because he's a star, but Neil is a hard scientist. So it's got to make sense to Neil. Every talk show, podcast, panel, in order for you to get on there, you got to send them your book or your work or your music or whatever it is that you're going to go talk about. And then they want to see your movie before you come on there and talk about the movie. You understand what I'm saying? Or else it's a paid slot. So anyway, I think that's the biggest thing with Terrence is his celebrity entitlement has made him think he could just come up with this theory and somebody will fund it before he proves it. He has got to raise more interest. He's got, do a pay-per-view, do something where the people, the public want to see this so bad that they pay to see you try to make this happen. And I think that is probably the best direction for him. If he does a book where he shows how it will get done and people fall in love with this book, number one, they're buying the book, you're raising money, and then you can conduct your experiment. I don't know how much the experiment will cost, but nobody's going to believe you until you get it done. So I'm pressed for time. Maybe I shouldn't even spend a lot of time talking about this, but I'm going to give you some examples of things that worked this way through science fiction. All right, things that I just think are good examples for Terrence Howard. All right, I'll come back. All right, so kind of to give you examples, right? What I think are examples for Terrence Howard to work his theory is, take for instance, none of these are really serious, but it's sort of in the lines of Terrence Howard, and people spend money doing it. So take the movie Back to the Future. Now, it's really hard to say I'm gonna make a movie that's gonna be as popular as Back to the Future, or that connects with people as much as Back to the Future. But heck, Terrence Howard is a big star, and he feels he got that fan base. So Back to the Future is a story about time travel, very much like what Terrence said he could do with his thing. And because people like the film so much, they try to not just make a DeLorean that speeds, but they tried to test the theory in real life. There was hardcore experiments of people trying to make time travel machines because of the movie Back to the Future. And that's a long shot, because I don't even think Back to the Future takes their time travel machine serious. But I know, and these are all big. I didn't really think of small ones, but people have tried to prove some of the elements in in Star Wars with the Jedi. Some of the things that Jedis do. There are whole cults of people that believe the Jedi are real, or the things that Jedi do are real. They've been around for a while. So long ago, when Star Wars came out in 1977, I'm pretty sure by the 80s, there was these groups of people who believed the things that were being done by the Jedi in the movie were really being done. Man, I can't. I should have made a list. These things, but part of what I'm suggesting is also in the success of Star Trek and many of the devices in Star Trek. And I saw a documentary where they talked about Star Trek and its impact on real inventions in science. And the things that were in Star Trek were all theories. They were made up by the people who created Star Trek, and they believed it was possible. Could they do it at the time? No. But they believed in the micro processing of computers to the point where you would be able to talk to a computer, you would have a tricorder, you would have a communicator, all these things. Did they call it a cell phone? No. Did they call it video conferencing? No. Did they know it would be called AI or Siri or Alexa? No. But these things do exist now. And it was impacted, the energy around the inventions were, the technology in the real world was fueled by the fictional world. I tell people every day, and this is now out of respect for science fiction writers, the creators, not just the editors and the directors and the illustrators. I'm talking about the primary architects. We are scientists. Let me explain something to you. Being a science fiction writer, hardcore space travel science fiction writer, we use, for the most part, primary social science. We tell a human story on how this scientific device will affect people, right? Whether it's a natural disaster, how will the people be in a post-apocalypse, right? Mad Max is a theory. The Road Warrior is a theory, right? The Book of Eli is a theory, right? Science fiction, but social science, right? Then there are the very first theory, right? Or analogy. Take Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. He can bring somebody, a dead corpse, back to life using electricity. Yes, that still is something that people believe and try to do. Maybe not they're recently dead, but we know that when you put the electro things on your chest, your heart has stopped beating and they bring you back to life. That wasn't around at the time of Frankenstein, but there's theories that show that that definitely was connected to the two. Now, the social science comes in with the fact that the monster wanted to kill Dr. Frankenstein. That's the social science. So I don't know. Maybe it's too many examples, but I just believe scientists. Hold on a second. So sorry about that. I just think people do not know how much power science fiction writing has in the influence of real things and real theories. Science fiction is a playground for theories. That's where they play, and as wild as they are, there's no limit to what you can put in there. And I just think that's a really good playground for Terrence Howard. Let me know what you think. There's another one that I would throw out. Foundation is a series that's on now. I think it's on the second or third season. And then we all know iRobot and how iRobot is influencing AI and robotics. So anyway, this is Jeff Carroll Science Sci-Fi Express Lane. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. All right, I'm out of here.